our next guest today is Fabian Cambron, who is from Springfield, Washington County, and who recently received the Hall of Fame Award at St. Dominic Parish School. Okay. So, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
So, I just want to know how it is that you received that award.
Well, it was a total surprise to me. I thought there was a whole lot more people more deserving than I was, but it was a surprise, and I'm very honored that somebody nominated me and they picked me.
Yeah. Because you attended
Well, I attended St. Dominic's, and I moved. I retired in Florida and moved back here.
Right.
And while we were building our house, we were up there on Lebanon Hill, close to where you are. And I get this telephone call from, said, "This is Nell Hayden, and I understand you just moved back." And I said, "Well, Nell Hayden, now what Hayden are you?" She said, "Well, I'm married to Joe Pat Hayden." I said, "Well, I don't know him. Who's his parents?" So anyway, I found out he was Bubba Robinson's daughter, and I thought, well, anybody's Bubba Robinson's daughter, okay. So she asked me to do something for St. Dominic's School. And what it was take all of these old tapes of all the graduating classes from 1929 or 30, whenever school started, and make a list of all the alumni. It took me about 2 years to do that. And I had to go to the library here in Springfield and run those tapes and copy all that down. And I would work on it, and then I'd leave it for about a week or a month. And then it took me 2 to 3 years to get it done.
Wow.
But that's what I did the first time. And then, so I did a lot of volunteer work. And I worked down at St. Catherine College on some projects until they wanted me to almost become an unpaid employee.
Yeah, that can happen fast around here, Fabian. But now at St. Dominic, you went to St. Dominic School.
Yes.
You grew up in that parish and in that school.
Mm-hmm. Then I went to Springfield High School.
Okay.
Then I went to St. Catherine Junior College.
Okay.
I have the very honor and distinction to be the first male graduate of St. Catherine College.
Were you the first one in attendance?
No. John William Ciccone, I know, went the year before I did. And then he went off to optometry school. But I was the first one that graduated.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was quite an honor. Well, when I graduated from high school, all my close friends were going off to college. And there wasn't any way that I could go. My dad couldn't do that. And Mr. Joe Hayden took me to Lexington and got me enrolled to go to school at UK. But in order to pay for it, I got a job in the afternoon at A&P and a job at the Lexington Herald paper, delivering papers in the morning. And I was carrying about 12 hours. After about 2 weeks, I realized I was in over my head. I was not going to have much of a chance of being successful. So I quit and came home. And I heard that some boys were going to school down in St. Catherine, so I went down there and rang the doorbell at the mother house and met Sister Agatha. I don't know where you knew.
I knew Sister Agatha.
Sister Agatha, and she said, "Sure, we can come to school here." So she said tuition and books would be about $65. Well, I didn't have $65. So I heard you can go to the bank and borrow money, so I went to People's Bank and talked to Mr. Pinky No. I don't know where you never did.
No,
know
I
him.
didn't.
So he said, "Okay, well, I can loan you $65. How are you going to pay it back?" And I said, "Well, I work on Saturdays at Reed's Grocery for $5. I can pay you $2.50 every Monday till it's paid off." He said, "Great." He handed me 3 counter checks and said, "You go take these, and when you write all the checks and get your books and tuition paid, come in, we'll sign a note." Well, at about that same time, St. Rose had just built their elementary school. and Mr. Murray Walker, not Murray Walker Jr., the old man, he got the contract for the bus to get the students, and he hired me to drive the bus. So I drove that bus for 2 years. I was at St. Catherine's, all down through Barrowaller and Blanford Lane and Lanham Lane and all, and for $30 a week.
Oh, that
So
was big
way
money.
So I paid that note off pretty quick.
You sure did.
So
Did you quit your job at Reed's? Or
no.
No, you stayed there too.
No, my dad he taught me never to quit a job. If you needed money, you better hold on to what you got.
So you had 2 jobs. You
Yeah.
worked after school from St. Catherine, driving the bus.
Driving the bus, and then I worked on Saturday for 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. for $5.
I swear. Did you drive the bus early in the morning before you went to school
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Oh, before and after school.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, you really did work hard. Well, that didn't give you much time for socializing, I don't think.
Oh, there's plenty of time for that.
Was there?
I was there at St. Catherine with all those girls.
That's what I was going to say. Were you the only boy in the class, or were there any others?
There was a Wimpsett guy that started out, and I don't remember what happened to him. But that's all. I just remember he was started with me, but I don't.
Had to have been a Wimpsett from New Haven, I'd say. That's
Yeah.
where the Wimpsets.
Or the Berg. I don't know.
Or the
what-
Berg, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so otherwise you were the only boy then.
Yeah. I basically was the only boy.
Did those girls spoil you?
Yeah. Well, they helped me out a lot because I was not a very good student. I admire President Bush here recently. He just gave a talk for the graduation service, and he honored all the top graduates and all that got honors. He says, and I'm here one day, he said, a C student can become president. So a C student could graduate from St. Catherine Junior College.
There you go. That's right. It's not always about the your book sense anyway, is it, Fabian?
Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
There's a lot to learn.
You almost learn as much or more after you graduate.
Yeah.
That's when you really start learning how to do things. Yeah.
I have a feeling you probably learned, though, a lot from those sisters at St. Catherine.
Well, I did, and
Not in the books necessarily, but just about how to behave.
well, yeah, social skills and all. Because I remember Sister Agatha at one time in particular, maybe more often than not, we had a tea party in the hall in the entrance to the mother house, telling how to feed. And I was the only boy; she was girls. So yeah, I remember that.
So you learned to put your napkin in your lap,
Yeah.
and how to hold your
How to
teacup,
hold your teacup.
keep your pinky
curl.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
See, so
yeah.
you did learn a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
And then after you graduated there, what happened to you?
Well, I was drafted for the Army, so I went off to the Army for 2 years. And I didn't go to Korea, but I'm a career veteran. Because I was in there when the war was going on and all. And I always wanted to go overseas, but I was at Fort Bliss, Texas for a while, and I was in a non-commissioned officer school and several other schools, and then I wound up at Fort Benning, Georgia, and I played mock wars when they moved Audie Murphy's Second Army from Europe to Fort Benning. They came up with some plan. I don't know what it was, but anyway, we spent 30 to 40 days out in Georgia and Alabama fighting a mock war. So I was involved with that, and then.
But fortunately, you didn't have to go off and actually
Didn't have to
fight
Right.
in a real war.
Yeah, but I got wounded one time and had to go. Well, not really, but
Oh, a fake.
a fake wound and all. So it's a mock war. It was true. I mean, tried to be as realistic as possible. But still, we knew we weren't going to get hit by anything.
Yeah, that makes it nice.
Yeah.
And so you finished your time in the service.
Right.
And then you did what?
Well, I got out of the service in November of '55, and when I got back home to Springfield, it was just the beginning of the stock market. So Jack Gordon and Jack Reddix hired me from American Tobacco Company, so I worked for them during the tobacco season. Of course, that was over about the end of February. So then I went to Louisville and got a job on the railroad, L&N Railroad, and worked there. Well, I actually worked for the railroad for 40 years and retired from CSX, L&N,
Okay.
in Jacksonville, Florida.
So you moved to Florida with the railroad when
Yes.
they moved. That was when, back in
1980.
Oh, 80, okay.
Yeah.
I remember someone that I worked with whose husband
Yeah.
was with the railroad, and they ended up going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after I got to working for the railroad, I found out that I could get the GI Bill because I was a veteran. So I wanted to get married, and I couldn't figure out how to go to school and get married at the same time. So, but then I found out that I could go to night school. So I enrolled at Bellarmine, and 6 years later, I graduated from Bellarmine with a business administration degree.
Well, that's cool.
Worked a 40-hour-a-week job and went to school at night.
And were you married at that time?
I was
then?
married and had 3 kids. I was working. I was really working.
Now, because you married Flo, who I don't know Flo's whole name. She
Flo
was.
Sims.
Was it Florence or was it Flo?
It was Florence. Her full name was Florence Barber Sims.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Springfield.
From Springfield.
So
right.
were you all sweethearts in high school, or?
Yeah. Well, not in high school. I didn't start
I
dating.
bet she went to St. Catherine.
Oh yeah, she went to St.
Academy.
Catherine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you all got together after
Got together after that, and well, see, that was in March. I went to road March of '55 and March of '56, and we got married in February of '57. So.
Because you all started dating when you were down at St. Catherine? Or-
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Was she in class with you
No. She was in the academy
while you were over at the college?
while I was at the college. Yeah.
Oh, you weren't supposed to be fraternizing with those academy girls. That was against the rules.
Oh no! Well, I was fraternizing with the college girl too. We had a cute little gal from Hawaii, Hawaii. Yeah. But that was interesting though. Went to Jane Todd Inn, and she got upset with me because I was dancing with other girls. In our day, you dance with everybody, not just one. And she got upset because
Now, who got Flo in?
no,
this Hawaiian
Hawaiian
girl.
girl. Yeah.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
Maybe her culture
Oh,
was.
she wasn't from Hawaii. She was in the Philippines.
Okay.
Cute black hair, dark brown eyes, just gorgeous little gal.
Yeah, but it sounds like that Flo ended up getting you.
Well, I don't know whether she got me or I got her. I don't know.
I bet. Were you dating Flo at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, Fabian. So,
Well, now that may be it. She went. She was a senior when I was a freshman. So the next year she went off to school in St. Louis. So
to Webster?
To Webster, yeah. She
Where
went to
my
Webster.
mother went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flo went to Webster.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Taught by
so,
the sisters.
So I wasn't cheating on her. She was gone.
You had to find somebody to occupy your time, didn't you?
Oh, that's right.
But then you got back together after
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
And you married and.
married and had 4 children. And,
Uh-huh.
and now
What year did you all marry?
we married in February of '57. Father Blanford. You know it? You remember him?
Oh, indeed I do.
Yeah, Father Blanford.
Married you all at St. Dominic
at
then?
St. Dominic's, right. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but then you all moved.
Well, we lived in Louisville. We lived in Louisville.
At that time?
All married life we were in Louisville until we
Okay.
moved back to Springfield after I retired.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you retired from the railroad, you came back to Springfield.
Mhm.
And what year was that?
That was in '97.
Okay.
97, yeah.
And so you've been here ever since.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Now your parents were who?
Jake and Amy Cambron. My dad worked at Hayden
Oh,
Mill
of
and Grain
course.
Company.
Duh.
My mother was notorious. She worked at the Louisville store. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And your brother Simeon,
yeah.
who was on the city council here.
He was city council. He was deputy sheriff at one time.
Deputy sheriff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Car salesman.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
Everybody knew Simeon. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And then, are there any? Oh, well, of course, Betty Jane.
Oh, Betty Jane's my
Ball,
sister.
yeah.
And Betty Jane, but Rudy Ball, and then my other sister Norma Lee.
Norma Lee.
Yeah.
And Norma Lee's the only one that doesn't live here.
Right.
She lives in Louisville.
She lived in Louisville.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and so when you came back here, of course, your children were all grown at that point,
Oh yeah.
and they live. Where do they live?
Oh gosh, I got 4 children. They live in Indianapolis, Indiana, Enid, Oklahoma, Hilton Head, South Carolina, and Milford, Ohio.
So you got wonderful places to visit.
Yeah.
And I know you go up to Ohio quite a bit to watch some ball games, I believe.
Well, my youngest son is a basketball coach up there, high school basketball coach, and I go up there every Tuesday and Friday during basketball season.
Do you?
Yeah.
What kind of drive is that? How far is
It's
it?
about 2.5 hours one way. So
Okay.
yeah.
You go up and watch the game and spend the night and
I
come
spend the night and come back.
back? Okay.
Occasionally I drive straight back, but
Uh-huh.
no.
Well, that's good that
Yeah.
you get that opportunity.
Yeah.
That's not too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got 12 grandkids. And guess how many girls I got out of that 12?
How many?
1. 1 girl.
Oh, my goodness. So, well, are they all coming in this summer?
No. In fact, I'm leaving tomorrow. We're all going to Destin tomorrow.
And take a family
Take a
vacation,
family
everybody together?
Everybody together. Well,
Oh.
everybody but one daughter-in-law is not going to be there. She just had a new baby, and she can't fly, right? But she's sending her husband and her 2 other children. She said, "My mother's coming to stay with me. You take them and you go on to Destin."
Oh, that's good. So you've got how many boys and how many girls?
Well, I had 11 boys and 1 girl.
But I mean, with the children, how many are they? All boys? No, you have a daughter.
Not all my children.
Yeah.
No, I had 2 girls and 2 boys.
Oh, okay. Okay. You okay?
And then of those, I've got 12 grandkids, 11
11
grandsons and 1 girl. And I've got 5 great grandkids, and they're all boys.
Oh my gosh. Well, you've got a lot of ball players to go watch. That's all. And we were just talking about, a little league here.
Yeah.
And so you enjoy going to see baseball games and things like that?
Oh yeah. Well, I try to go here locally. I mean, I follow the Commanders and the Commanderettes, and go out and watch Bernard's. He's a great man, Bernard is.
Yeah.
He's one of the top people around this city and county.
Yeah.
So I try to follow everybody. I even go to Bethlehem games, some Bethlehem games, because I've got friends that have children doing over there. So
Well,
I'm a widower, so I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I do.
And obviously you like athletics. So did you
Yeah.
play ball too?
Yeah, in high school. Yeah,
You-
I played football and basketball in high school.
Okay.
Yeah,
For
for Springfield High
Springfield
School.
High School.
Springfield High School Panthers.
Yeah.